Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Phoenix Rising YouTube video. I am your host, The Phoenix Rising, and today's video is going to be something interesting because I want to talk to you guys about a franchise that I grew up on, a movie franchise and a book franchise that really helped change reading and movies for me, which is the Harry Potter franchise. And I wanted to bring up in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion that I know about Harry Potter, these are research that I've done about Albus Dumbledore and why, in my opinion, he is he's not a good guy in my opinion. Um, and in the facts that I've looked at, it proves that Dumbledore still believed in his greater good, which obviously wasn't very good at all. He from the start is manipulating the way that things are. I mean, the opening scene of the movie is him placing Harry at Privet Drive. Well, if you do research, Lily and James Potter's wills strictly tell Dumbledore do not put Harry with Petunia and Dursley. And Dumbledore does this because of wards that exist. Well, there's no such thing as blood wards if the person that is protecting the ward does not accept them as their own. Petunia Dursley never did that. So the blood wards did not exist. So there was nothing keeping Harry safe whatsoever at all. Harry was allowed to be abused and underfed for years, and Dumbledore did nothing about it. Dumbledore, his entire time there, hired all but like one Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher that wanted to kill Harry. It's just what it is. If you go back through and you look at Deathly Hallows, Snape's memories, Dumbledore even admits that he was raising Harry to be a lamb for slaughter. And Dumbledore says that all of this is for the greater good. Dumbledore, your greater good, the greater good that you claim, is the same greater good that you believed when you were with Gilderoy Grindelwald, which is that magic should rule over men and that muggles are below you. But yet, you want to sit here and you want to preach about, oh, Muggleborn's this and Muggleborn's that, but yet your greater good that you claim to follow so strictly is that of Gilderoy Grindelwald, who believed that magic should control men and that muggles are nothing more than muggles, and muggleborns should essentially be killed. So explain that to me. Explain the fact how Dumbledore's such a good guy, but yet year after year he keeps putting Harry in danger, and year after year his manipulation keeps running deep. More and more throughout the years of Harry's Hogwarts time, it gets ridiculous. Like, Dumbledore knew, obviously, that Sirius was going to come to Hogwarts. Dumbledore obviously knew Sirius was innocent, because the reason why is because Dumbledore is the one that put Sirius in Azkaban, essentially, without a trial for 13 years, because Dumbledore was the head chief of the Wismont. Okay, so everyone's wondering, well, everybody's probably going to sit here and ask me, well, why is that? Because in order for the Potters to cast the Felidus charm, Albus Dumbledore would have had to have been there, which would have meant that they would have had to have told Dumbledore that they switched secret keepers. So for Dumbledore to sit there and act like he did not know that Sirius was innocent was a lie. Dumbledore is a liar and a manipulator. It makes no sense, in my opinion, for everyone to sit there and try to say that Dumbledore is a good guy. Dumbledore may be portrayed as a good guy, but the facts of the matter is, and the evidence proves, Dumbledore is not a good guy. He's probably the third most evilest character in the Harry Potter franchise. He has caused equal, if not more, mental and physical damage to Harry than Voldemort has. In a year, in Order of the Phoenix, in a year where Harry could have used a mentor, what does Dumbledore do? For the greater good, he separates himself from Harry. He allows Harry to be abused by Umbridge. He allows Umbridge to take over his school, which he even states that Umbridge had no authority in being able to do that. Only then, when Dumbledore decided to not put up a fight against the Minister of Magic, did Umbridge take over. Dumbledore did not care for the well-being of Harry or Harry's friends. The only thing Dumbledore cared about was himself and a way to destroy Lord Voldemort. Because if Dumbledore would have stayed alive during the final battle, as Harry is running around trying to destroy Horcruxes, Dumbledore would have somehow, some way re-entered the castle and would have dueled. Dumbledore would have taken all the glory. Okay. I've seen the way that Dumbledore is portrayed. If you go back through and you look at Dumbledore's story as a young child and as a young teen, Dumbledore was very cocky, very self-centered, very egotistical, and he believed that he should be portrayed as the true leader of light, that he was untouchable, essentially. Dumbledore, one of your plans, first of all, your master plan was to allow Draco Malfoy, a kid, Dumbledore, under your watch, who did not want to follow in his father's footsteps, who did not want to be a Death Eater. But you told Snape to make sure that he went through with the plan to become a Death Eater. Just so you could fulfill your master plan of dying and then putting the school in control of Snape. Just so Harry could die at the end. First of all, here's another thing that no one realizes. Do you know that if James Potter would have had his invisibility cloak, there's a possibility that Lily Potter could have lived as well as Harry. There was a possibility. But because Dumbledore, a couple days before Voldemort's attack, asked James for the invisibility cloak to research it, they died. Because Dumbledore wanted to make sure that it was the same invisibility cloak from the story of the three brothers. So from that time to Harry's first year and even beyond after the second year, and even then beyond after that, Dumbledore had all three hollows in his possession. Dumbledore was the master of death. Dumbledore, this entire time, could have prevented a lot of heartache within the wizarding world. Did he? No, because he believed it was part of a greater good, and that greater good was to sacrifice anyone by any means necessary as long as Harry fulfilled his prophecy to be a lamb led to slaughter. And essentially, Dumbledore also helped in the creation of Tom Riddle. In Voldemort, because Dumbledore somehow, someway did not see the signs of, wow, this person is evil beyond repair. So Dumbledore is corrupt. Dumbledore is just as corrupt as the Ministry. He's just not good. When I was younger, I was upset that he died, but every time I watch his death, I celebrate now because it's just like, good. It's what you deserve. That's just my opinion. Anyways, guys, that was my thoughts, my facts on Albus Dumbledore. Peace.